I'm running, but who am I running for?
You ever notice how loud the world feels? The buzz of your phone, the hum of traffic, the background noise of emails, messages, and never-ending updates. Life has become one long string of pings and alerts. So constant, we almost stop noticing. But every once in a while, when everything goes quiet, you feel something deeper, a restlessness. We live in a world where success isn't measured by faithfulness anymore. It's measured by followers, by applause, by the ability to stay seen. And let's be honest, that feels good. Who doesn't want to be noticed, celebrated, or recognized? But here's the tension. Could it be that the very thing we're chasing is the very thing that's wearing us down? Think about it. How many times have you posted something online only to find yourself checking it again and again, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, an hour later? How many late nights have you stayed up, not because the work had to be done, but because you wanted someone to see your effort? How often do you feel restless, not because your life is truly lacking, but because you feel unseen? Validation is powerful. It's like a hit of adrenaline. It gives you a rush, a spark, a sense that you matter. But the rush fades, and when it does, you find yourself back on the treadmill, running harder, faster, longer, but still not arriving. That's the image I want us to sit with today. The treadmill, the hamster wheel, the rat race, running endlessly, but never actually going anywhere. Today's episode is about that race and how to step off. It's about validation, how success has been misdefined, and how God invites us into a radically different rhythm. Here's where we're headed. We'll start with a story. Then we'll turn to scripture, specifically the wisdom of King Solomon in Ecclesiastes. From there, we'll explore psychology. Why validation hits like a drug. We'll zoom out to culture and talk about why hustle culture and social media keeps us chasing wind. And finally, we'll land in practice. How to live by design, not default. By the end of this, my hope is that you'll have language for what you've been feeling, clarity about what's really happening, and courage to step out of the race and into God's design for your life. As we begin, let me ask you this. What are you really chasing? Let me tell you about a season of my life when I was caught in the race. On the outside, things looked good. I was working hard, producing, posting, showing up to everything. People noticed. They say things like, wow, you're doing so much. You're really making moves. And every time I heard it, something in me lit up. I felt seen. I felt validated. But on the inside, I was exhausted. I remember staying up late, scrolling on my phone, refreshing over and over to see if a post had gained more likes, more views, more comments. I replayed conversations in my head, wondering if I said something impressive enough. I say yes to projects I didn't even care about just because I thought they looked good on the outside. And the weird part was I wasn't unhappy because life was bad. I was unhappy because I couldn't stop chasing. I'll never forget one particular night. I had poured my heart into a project, but I put it out into the world and then crickets. Hardly any response. And I felt crushed, not because the project wasn't good, not because it didn't matter, but because it didn't get noticed. And that's when it hit me. Why do I care so much? Why is my worth tangled up in whether people clap or not? It was like I was on a treadmill running hard, breathing heavy, heart racing. But at the end of the day, no matter how much I ran, I was still in the same place. That's the danger of validation. It feels good for a moment, but it doesn't last. And the more you chase it, the emptier you feel. And here's what I've learned. This isn't just a modern problem. It's not just about Instagram likes or Facebook likes or hustle culture. This is a deeply human problem, one that stretches back thousands of years. King Solomon, one of the wisest men who ever lived, wrote about it in the book of Ecclesiastes. He said, life can feel like chasing the wind, always moving, never arriving, always striving, but never satisfied. So before we get into psychology and culture, let's sit with this truth. The rat race is not new, it's ancient, and the Bible has already diagnosed the problem. When Solomon wrote Ecclesiastes, he wasn't some bitter old man ranting about life. He wasn't a broke dude. He was a king. He had everything: wealth, wisdom, power, fame, wives, palaces, gardens, success by every worldly definition. And yet listen to his words. In Ecclesiastes 1:14, he says, I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Do you hear the exhaustion in that? Solomon is saying, I've tasted everything this world has to offer, and it still feels empty. And then in Ecclesiastes 4:4, he digs even deeper. And it says, and I saw that all toil and all achievement spring from one person's envy of another. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Let's pause right there. All toil, all achievement, driven by envy. That's not just ancient wisdom. That's our world today. Scroll through social media, and what do you see?
You suckers quit hating on me.
Comparison, jealousy, envy. It's not just that we want to succeed. We want to succeed more than the person next to us. And we want to show it to the next person. And Solomon's point is brutally honest. If you're working just to be seen, just to outdo, just to gather applause, you're chasing wind. You'll never catch it. When Solomon says under the sun, he's describing life apart from God, human striving in its rawest form. It's like he's saying, if all you're living for is to be noticed under the sun, you're missing what lasts beyond it. And Jesus picks up on this same theme in Matthew 6:1. He says, be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others, to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. Validation, applause, being noticed, these are not new temptations. They've always been with us, but they've never satisfied. So Scripture sets the stage. It tells us clearly, chasing validation is chasing wind. It drains you. It leaves you restless. But maybe you're wondering, if it's so empty, why do I still crave it? Why does it feel so good when people notice me? That's where psychology helps us understand the why. Let's talk about brain science for a moment. Every time you get a like, a compliment, a round of applause, your brain releases dopamine. That's the feel-good chemical. It's the same one that lights up when you eat sugar or win a game or hear your favorite song. And here's the thing. Dopamine is very addictive. It's your brain's way of saying, that felt good, do it again. So you post another picture, you check the stats again and again and again and again. You say yes to another project, and slowly validation becomes like a drug. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. The idea is simple. Once you get used to a certain level of pleasure, it no longer satisfies. You need more likes, more applause, more recognition. It's like chasing a moving finish line. Just when you think you've arrived, the goalpost shifts. And the result, identity instability. You start building your sense of self on external applause instead of internal truth. Psychologists talk about the false self versus the true self. The false self is who you perform as, the version of you that exists for other people's approval. The true self is who you really are, who God made you to be. But the more you chase validation, the more you feed the false self is never satisfied. So the rat race isn't just cultural, It's neurological. Our brains are wired to crave approval. But here's the key. God designed us not to find identity in the applause of people, but in his voice. This is my beloved child in whom I'm well pleased. We all crave that. Well done, my good and faithful servant. We all crave that. If you don't, as a Christian, you should crave that. That's the voice our hearts long for. And if you zoom out, you'll see this isn't just about individuals. It's cultural. Entire systems are built on the treadmill. The entire economic system in the United States of America is built on the treadmill system to keep you envying what you see on TV, the person, the people, the celebrities, the influencers on social media. Entire systems are built on the treadmill of the rat race, or should I say, the treadmill of envy. Let's talk about the world we live in. Let's talk about the world we live in. First, social media. If Ecclesiastes called life chasing the wind, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are basically win factories. They monetize our craving for validation. Every like, every comment, every share is engineered to keep you running on the treadmill. And the comparison, endless. Someone always has more followers, more success, more influence. Second, corporate hustle. Work isn't just about providing anymore. It's about identity. Productivity has become a badge of honor. If you're not hustling and grinding, achieving, you're falling behind. And companies reward this treadmill. They dangle promotions, titles, bonuses, not just as incentives, but as markers of worth. And here's the kicker. Even ministry can become part of the rat race. Serving God can turn into building a platform. Preaching can become about applause instead of obedience. And when ministry becomes performance, it's no different from corporate hustle. It's the same treadmill, just dressed in church clothes. Modern success has moving goalposts. More money, more fame, more recognition, but the finish line keeps shifting. And once again, Solomon's words echo. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. So where do we go from here? If validation is addictive, if culture amplifies the chase, if even good things can turn into wind chasing, what's the alternative? And that answer is living by design. So if the rat race is empty, if validation is chasing the wind, what's the alternative? It's this, living by design. Here's what I mean. Most of us live in what I'll call default mode. In default mode, life is about applause, about keeping up, about constantly checking if we're doing enough, achieving enough, being seen enough. It's restless, it's exhausting, it's validation driven. Default mode is what happens when we have no purpose, no intent. We're just reactionary. We're reacting instead of living by our purpose and what we were created for. God invites us into design mode. Design mode.
Y'all might not never know what the good life is like. The good life, baby.
Is about purpose. It's about living according to his design, not the world's definition. In design mode, success is not about applause. It's about faithfulness. Paul puts it beautifully in Colossians 3:23 and 24. It says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. That's radically different. That's a radically different definition of success. Not how many people clapped, not how many followers noticed, but was I faithful to what God gave me? And Hebrews 12:1 and 2 builds on this. It says, let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. Did you notice that? We each have a race marked out for us, not someone else's race, not the Instagram highlight reel, not the comparison game. Our race. I think of a friend who stepped away from a high-paying, high-profile job that was draining him. From the outside, people thought, man, this dude is crazy. He gave up money, he gave up influence, he gave up status. But what he found on the other side was peace. He said, for the first time, I feel like I'm actually living my life and not the life other people expected me to live. That's the difference between default and design. Default is restless, applause-driven, addicted to validation. Which mode are you living in right now? Okay, so how do we actually step off the treadmill? It's one thing to understand it, but another to break free. Let's get practical here. The first thing you need to do is you need to reframe success biblically. You need to ask yourself, would I still do this if nobody noticed? That's the true test of faithfulness. If your work, your serving, your creating is only worth it if others see it, then it's not rooted in God's definition of success. The second thing you need to do is detox from comparison. Comparison is fuel for the rat race. One of the best things you can do, take intentional breaks from social media. Not just scrolling less, but setting boundaries. Maybe it's one day a week where you log off completely. Maybe it's deleting apps for a month. Give your soul a chance to breathe without the constant scoreboard of comparison. The third thing you need to do is you need to celebrate hidden victories. Jesus said in Matthew 6:4 that the Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Do something meaningful that no one else will see. Write an encouraging note, serve someone anonymously, pray for someone without telling them. Practice doing things for God's eyes only. The fourth thing, you need to practice Sabbath rest. The rat race says, prove yourself. Sabbath says, God's got this. God's already in control. Taking one day a week to stop working, to stop striving, to stop proving, it's like a reset button for the soul. It reminds you that your worth is not in what you produce. Fifth, you need to build accountability. We all need people who remind us of what really matters. Find friends, mentors, community who value obedience over performance. People who will ask you, how's your heart? Not just what are you achieving. Try 1 week of doing something meaningful without posting or sharing it. Journal about how it felt. Did it feel freeing or did it feel uncomfortable? Either way, it'll reveal how much validation has its hooks in you. These practices aren't about legalism, they're about liberation. They're ways of stepping off the treadmill and breathing again. So let's bring this together. Validation feels good. Success, as the world defines it, looks shiny, but in the end, it's chasing the wind. It never feels, it never satisfies. True joy isn't found in applause, it's found in hearing God's voice say, well done, good and faithful servant. So here's the takeaway. I want you to remember, success is not being seen. Success is being faithful. Let that sink in. Success is not the applause of people. Success is the approval of God. So I want to leave you with these 3 questions to reflect on this week. What's one area of my life where I'm chasing validation instead of God's approval? The second question is, would I still pursue this if no one ever noticed? Third, how am I defining success? By applause or faithfulness? Sit with those questions, journal about them, let them expose where the treadmill has a grip on you. As we close, let me encourage you. You don't have to run in circles. You don't have to keep chasing wind. The treadmill is not your destiny. You can step off the hamster wheel. You can breathe again. You can live by design, God's design. And that's the heartbeat of the Truth Be Told project.